Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Vet Talks. Vet Talks, we are so excited today. Cougars Inc., who do we have on our show today?
Today, it's the voice of the veteran community, and today I'm proud to have Marchus Chischilly on. And Marcus, are you there? How are you doing? Thank you for being on the show. You're a true inspiration.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely good morning to you guys, or good afternoon. My name is Marchus Chischilly. I'm a combat Navajo Marine. I'm currently living in San Diego. I think one of the big highlights of being a Marine is definitely getting the opportunity to do my job. I was serving on my 4th combat deployment in Afghanistan. I stepped on an IED. I lost a leg there, and it kind of really turned the tables of being a Marine. But we've sort of taken one of our biggest concepts or our biggest mottos, which is adapt and overcome. And that kind of drove me forward to get into adaptive sports and to train in the Paralympic world. To get the opportunity to compete in different settings for track as an amputee, or to compete in hand cycling in different marathons throughout the country. It's definitely opened up a lot of doors. We've definitely had some really good trials and tribulations. I think one of them was meeting the challenge of not expecting to medically retire as soon as I lost my leg, but to spend 2 years on full recovery, doing what we do as Marines. We get back in the fight and going back to the Marine Corps for an additional 3 years before I got my medical retirement.
So you're getting medically retired, of course, makes a big change in your life. And how old were you when that medical retirement occurred?
I was 29 at the time.
29 years old, and not only are you getting medically retired, but now you're dealing with physical challenges that you have to overcome, learning new things, right? Learning how to get around as an amputee, learning how to be successful. And you successfully transitioned that into, what are you doing today, Mark? Because you have a few organizations that you have up.
Yeah, definitely. I've met a great deal of people when it comes to getting out of Wounded Warrior Battalion and getting more into the adaptive sports and traveling to different places. I can definitely share that there is a lot of support within the United States for our armed forces, especially those who come back with those visible or invisible injuries. So one of the things that we got into is adaptive sports. That really changed the outcome, I believe, on how I perceived the injury. Because when I first woke up in the hospital, I think the first thing that I thought to myself was, what good am I now to anybody? I had a 1-year-old son at the time, and I kept thinking to myself, how am I going to be a productive or a manageable father to my son if I don't even have the capability of what I perceived to be a man at that time, being able to, travel different places, do different things. There was definitely that self-pity at the moment. But I think one of the things that helped change my perspective was 2 Marines had walked into the NIV Medical Center in Bethesda, Maryland, and they were both amputees. One was missing both legs, and the other was a single amputee. The single leg amputee Marine sat down at the edge of my bed, and I had all these tubes and everything all plugged into me, and I could barely understand what he was saying, but he was like, if there's anything that I want you to remember is that a year from now, it's going to be impossible for you to even fathom the idea of the amount of pain that you're in right now. And 2, he's like, don't sweat the small stuff. He's like, I'm going to guarantee you that you're going to get back on your feet and everything's going to be okay. And in the back of my mind, I kept telling myself, like, this guy is crazy. He obviously doesn't know what I'm going through right now, but he knew exactly what to say to me to kind of draw me out of that self-pity phase and really thrust me forward. So a lot of the organizations that I've been able to do a lot of great work with. One, we've started our own here. It's called AllStar Vets. It's a organization that really tries to bridge the gap between sports in general and our veteran community. So what I found out in sports is that there's a lot of camaraderie in there. It takes a lot of focus and training to build teams, to travel throughout the U.S. and to play on an elite level. When we start playing all these collegiate teams and we belong to a Division I wheelchair basketball team, and you're racing against other Paralympians who are amputees who share the same sort of ability as you when it comes to adaptive sports, competing against them, we kind of wanted to bridge that with just veterans who didn't have let's say some sort of impairment to play in type of Paralympic sports. Other nonprofits or VFWs are post our American Legions, and we asked for veterans of all ages to come out and participate in all these events. I know very quickly we are going to have an all sports, AllStar Vets is going to be throwing another,
AllStar Vets is the organization?
Yeah, AllStarVets.org is the organization, and D. Dufenau is the founder of it. He came to me about 5 years ago with this idea that he really wanted to do sports and to incorporate a lot of what I've learned as far as how to overcome a challenge, and then understand the importance of camaraderie when we actually play the sport itself.
And what is Challenged Athletes Foundation?
Challenge Athletes Foundation has sort of been a part of my recovery since the beginning. Nico Marcolongo is our chapter leader here for our San Diego area. He's the one who helps all of our, so to speak, our armed forces participate in all sorts of events when it comes to athletics. So we could be doing a mud run one weekend. They have one of their primary fundraisers throughout the year. It's called a Gut Check Fitness Challenge, where it's like a Spartan race, a mud run, all these different aspects all pulled into one, and you participate in this challenge and you raise money for the organization. And then they do things like support anything that has to do with athletics. So they were actually a really foundational key when I started learning how to become a fitness coach. They paid for my certifications, and I ran through that. And then we link up every so often as an organization, and I get an opportunity to show others who are just now getting into the realm of being either an adaptive athlete, or they're trying to figure out, some of the abilities that they have with the disability that they've acquired, whether that's in the service or people who are just wanting to support the community. It gives us a really good chance to educate them. They get a chance to see me, and I've always been inspired by others who have been on the same level as me years and years ago, who've kind of come back and helped push me to go forward. It's sort of like a never-ending giving opportunity, and Challenge Athletes Foundation is definitely another really good organization. So I have all of these shirts. I love wearing them. I like it when people come up to me and ask me questions like, hey, what's CAF? And I was like, well, Challenge Athletes Foundation is a really great organization that helps, our guys who have certain injuries or impairments who have participated in the military to help them get back into doing sports.
Excellent. And you are one of their ambassadors, of course.
Yeah, absolutely. I work as an ambassador for Challenge Athletes Foundation.
Okay. And what else are you doing in the community that you would like to highlight for veterans that might be seeking support, that are at any stage? Either they're right now sitting in a hospital, or they just got issued their first prosthetic.
Definitely. Our consultation, my consultation business is really like the highlight of what I'm trying to get off the ground right now. Becoming more of an influencer, getting the opportunity to sit down veterans either one-on-one to run a course. That's not some like kumbaya course to help them feel better, but actually implement some really good strategies, talk to them about, different opportunities, or even just introduce them into different areas of where either they're living, whether it has to do with their community or some type of employability or getting back into education, really trying to figure out, what it is that they want to try to achieve. So I think that's the biggest thing. My number one goal is really to become a life coach and really help support the veteran community. Spending years inside of the military, coming out of it, understanding the transitional, the hardships that come with it. Now, we planned, I think, for a full 2.5 years for us to actually get out of the military, and we still struggle. So I know that even though they try their best to make us as well as prepared when it comes to the financial aspect, to moving, to making sure your family's situated, to seek, employability after you leave the military. And all of that came from when I got a job, when I got back into the workforce that had nothing to do with my military experience. But I actually work for the San Diego Zoo now as a coordinator. So my day job is there. I do all of this other stuff like sports and training and stuff as much as I can afterwards. I do have a wife. Her name is Tanya, and I have 4 beautiful children. So there's probably never a dull moment in my day where we're not striving to sort of push things forward. But becoming that life coach is really how I feel I can pay back a lot of what I've been given to other veterans. And then hopefully within the next year, getting on tour, visiting different facilities, putting stuff out there, finding venue spaces and having guys come to us and really just talking to them about, hey, what's being projected forward? What are some of the things that we can do to help you guys, move forward into your lives? Because I know the transitional piece is really difficult. Even with some of the guys that I've served, that we've always had the conversation of like, hey, I know that a lot of us have gone to combat, and we've seen a lot of things, and we've done a lot of things that stay with us forever. And it's sort of like you have this part of you that doesn't seem to want to move on. But being also Native American kind of helps a lot. We do have different ceremonies that are known to help us understand the aspects of combat is combat, and when it's time to come home, it is truly time to come home.
Marcus, what is the name of the organization where people can seek leadership and consulting from you?
That's going to actually be at my website. So at marchuschishilly.com, there's a link on there to click to how to get a hold of me. And it's really, I do things kind of like very low key. I really enjoy people calling me on the phone, introducing themselves. If they don't want to talk about a whole lot, we don't have to get into that. It's not a therapy session. I'm by no means, trying to be a guru, but just share a lot of my knowledge and my personal experience. I know that when I've met great leaders inside of my community of sports or military aspects, I've always had somebody to look up to, and I've gone back to them and I've asked them questions of, hey, I'm having a challenge with this. Like, what do I need to do to help myself move forward? And a lot of it's just, mental strengthening. It's nice to know that I can reach out to people, call them on the phone, shoot them a text, tell them that it's not necessarily that I'm having a rough time, but if I'm missing a piece of information, or if I'm lacking some type of internal encouragement, I reach out to other people, and they sort of just help solidify all of that. And bridging and making a community like that is one of the things that's really important to me.
Okay, MarchusChischilly.com. Let's spell that for people. MarcusChischilly.com. MarchusChischilly.com. Folks, you could be mentored by one of the greatest Marines to ever serve. And what was your nonprofit? Challenge Athletes Foundation. And what was the other nonprofit? Marcus, real quick. What was
the other nonprofit is the AllStar Vets.
AllStarVets.org. AllStarVets.org. Ladies and gentlemen, it has been an honor to have Marcus on our show today. We'll have him back again here on Vet Talks. AllStarVets.org, Challenge Athletes Foundation, and the MarchusChischilly.com. Check those out, folks. You could have your own mentor and life coach. Thanks for being on the show. Stay tuned. All right, ladies and gentlemen, MarchusChischilly.com. It has been so great talking with you now.